we care? Well, I went over a little bit this earlier today, so I'm not going to spend on much time on it, but their financial assets are growing, obviously. In 2015, it grew to 1.4 trillion and 11.3 trillion on their own. They're going to have that whole generational pass down over the next 20 years that we talked about. 11% of millennials say that growing their retirement nest egg is one of their top goals. Interesting, right? But how many of us talk to them about their retirement? Never. We don't ever. My friend is in the investment community, and he has a large client conference that he's running and speaking at this week as well. It started today, actually. And it's funny, we were both speaking about millennials. He's speaking about how part of it is a sales conference for his sales team across the country, and it's about how do they go engage millennials in investment conversation, because they are going to be getting money. So they're doing that, so you have to do that, right? 8% of their income is already in retirement funds. They're already putting it in somewhere. It's going somewhere. So if you don't have 8% of their income, you got to find it. Now, 8% of their income isn't all that much money. I'll be real honest, but it's going to be. And if they're in the habit, the thing about millennials that's great is once they get in the habit of doing something, once they sign up for like charitable giving, they just give. And it's a payment they make, and they never pay attention to it, and it just automatically pays and pays and pays. Same thing with saving. Once they get in the habit, it automatically saves. We talked about that this morning. Aligning to a specific brand with a social conscience, this is the part I get mad at banks about. Because you guys give so much to your community. How many things do you support? How many causes do you attend, right? When there's quite honestly, when there's a cause or whatever in my town, the first place they're going is the bank. Hey, would you guys be supportive? Could you do a donation? Or could we use your lobby for this? Or could you sponsor this, right? Everything for education, literacy, to community advocacy, everything. How many of you volunteer? Raise your hand. How many of you talk about that? Never. You guys never talk about it. You don't tweet about it. You don't put it on your website. You don't talk about it. You don't put it in your newsletter. You just do it. So that's great. And the banking community is the first one to step up, right? First community to step up whenever there's some sort of disaster or some sort of crisis. And then, it might be like, oh, First Banks did this and we want to thank. But you guys do it every single day. Every single employee volunteers that I know of in community banks. Every single employee is always at community events, not selling your services. You're there participating, sponsoring. You're not like, hey, you want to sign a checking account while we're eating barbecue? No, you're not doing that. You're sponsoring those things that without you, those things wouldn't be happening in your community. But you guys don't talk about it enough. You've got to get a little me. You've got to talk about what you're doing. So this part, I can get really worked up about this part. Because it's true, you guys spend so much money, time, effort, personal effort, and I don't think you get credit for it. So this is an area you got to change if you're going to work with millennials, because that's one of the first places they look. They want to see what you're doing for the social society community and how you're doing it. And they'll pay you more to bank with you if you do these things and talk about it.